Well, welcome to South Sea Matters, and you can probably see slightly different format. I'm actually in France at the moment, on vacation, but I really didn't want to wait any longer to do my next session with Cliff Partridge on submodalities. So I thought, well, let's do it on Zoom. We all know Zoom. Welcome, Cliff. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you again, John. I hope you're enjoying your lovely holiday.
It's wonderful. Yes, I do like the French food. It's all good. So we mentioned at the end of the last one, we were going to go into a bit more detail on distortions, deletions, and generalizations. And if anyone out there that hasn't watched the first video, then please do. It's a good intro to what we're going to be talking about now. So let's go into a bit more depth on those then, Cliff. So distortions, deletions, and generalizations.
Yeah, these are the main filters that how our mind goes through. If I understand, John, you're going to put a nice diagram at the end to kind of explain things a little bit more. How we have this perception of what's going on out there, and obviously a perception of what's going on in here. And our brain is really clever. Even if we close our eyes, we can still see things and feel things and hear things. So these filterings are main filterings: deletions, distortions, and general. We're constantly deleting things. There's too much going on.
Would that be, Cliff? Sorry to interrupt. Would that be what I did when you spoke about the ship in the bottle? I kind of deleted what you said at the beginning.
That's right. Yeah, because as I just said, and that's just one of those things. I mean, my language now, it's in one of those things. So I've deleted what it is that we're using these filters all the time. So we are deleting what we're feeling sometimes,
right?
And we're what we're hearing, and we're distorting what we're hearing. I know I'm brilliant at distorting hearing things. I've got a dyslexic ear, so some of the stuff I'm hearing or watching stuff on TV, and I'm laughing, and my wife's going like, "What's so funny?" And it's completely different to what you know.
So is that your view of what you're watching? So you're watching, Sandy's watching, and you distort it in a way that she doesn't see, maybe.
That's right. Yeah. Or feel or hear. So I'm hearing. I think it's funny, and of course, to Sandy, it's like, "What's so funny?"
Yeah.
But that's the filtering, and sometimes I can hear things that are not being said, or a bit like my mum. My mum was like that as well. So the and distortions and generalizations are they're happening all the time, even when you're asleep. So and you can't get away from them, but it's just as well we delete things, because if we started to think about everything we've done in our life and we knew about it, we just wouldn't get out of bed.
Yeah. So where can that be a problem though, or is this just a general thing that we do and we've adapted to do this?
It's a very good question, because it depends on what we're deleting. So for some people, it's pretty obvious when I'm talking to my clients that they are deleting other possibilities.
Right. Okay.
Before, John, is when I sit with a client and ask them what they want in their life or how do they want to feel in their life, 9 times out of 10 they're telling me what they don't want.
Right.
They're deleting what they do want.
Yeah.
The possibilities are there because it's been generalized. They've gone through the problem so many times on a loop, and then they come back with what they don't.
So this is almost as if these three things, distortions, deletions, generalizations, aren't on their own. They're not done in isolation. They'll be part of one thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. They can actually be clumped together.
Yeah.
Different scenarios. And that's when it gets really juicy and complicated, because what might not be missing in one situation is completely missing in another situation.
Yeah.
Or they can see stuff, or they don't see stuff, and that's what makes it really fascinating.
Can you give a scenario there, an example of that at all? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's use someone who's very confident behind a bar.
Yeah.
They're working behind the bar. They're very confident. They've got the feeling of confidence. So you would think, well, they've got confidence all the time, but no. They step out, then they go driving. They might sort of start to drive or something like that, that's a completely different scenario and different
Mm.
situation. But then they start deleting their confidence, even their competence. It's much competence before you have confidence. Go into that place of, yeah, I can do that. I can drive a car. Bit like me when I first, and then like stall it straight away and then you have a crash.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's one scenario, and you can, like you say, for instance, when it comes to people that want to change the way they look, or they want to lose some weight, the first thing I say is, hey, maybe it'd be a really good idea for you to get a food diary. What would I want? Well,
yes,
because they delete. I mean, I know I'm deleting what I eat quite easily. So,
yeah.
And that's because it's generalized. You don't even know that you're doing it, and that's what makes it magical, but at the same time a little bit weird.
Yeah, I remember speaking to someone who didn't understand why they were overweight, and they were saying, "Well, I'm really good with my food," but at that time they were making their way quite steadily through a big bag of crisps. Yeah, so they're deleting that fat consciously. They don't really know they're doing it.
No, and it's been we call it a habit. But the brain just doesn't really care what it learns, So, and of course, one of the other filters is time, and also if you think about language, it's very difficult. It's very different in people's minds are very different in different languages. So, like, say, for instance, you're in France at the moment.
Yeah.
My sister, who's I'd say nearly 99% Italian, she says the world is a different place. She's thinking in English. It's completely different to what it's like when she's thinking in Italian. The world's that they're separate.
Yeah,
and that's fascinating, because when it comes to when people want to become something new or something different, one of the things I usually say is, well, do you know any Russian at all? They might be depressed or they might be fed up. It's like, well, next time you're really fed up, try and do it in Russian. It's an impossibility because there's no meaning.
Yeah.
And the brain wants to make things real. So,
of course, yeah.
I think I've said to you before, so, the word strawberry, if you think of strawberry, what do people do? I've never met anyone that said, I've just seen the word strawberry.
No. But there are people that do that, aren't there? There are people that actually, see with words, but smells and so on. Yeah.
But that, because your brain wants to make it real. So when it comes to thinking of words that are very, very powerful, like love and joy, or the word of depression, then your brain has to make it real. And that's unfortunately, it's what it does. But fortunately, it changes.
So we've touched on distortions, deletions, and forgive me if we've gone through this as well, because it's such a powerful subject. What about generalizations?
Like generalization, they're lovely because they're kind of the mechanism of beliefs. Without us generalizing something or doing something or seeing something over and over again, we then create a belief. Now we've touched on this a little bit before,
right?
Like, how to drive a car.
Yes.
And that's repetition, and that's how we learn, through repetition. I think a general consensus is, if you've done something over 21 times,
right,
you've repeated it so much, you've made the neurology. It doesn't mean you're doing it right.
No. You're creating a path or a road, but that road isn't necessarily going in the right direction to the right place or whatever.
Yeah, and it kind of challenges that idea of practice makes perfect, but it will make you could be perfect at doing it wrong.
Yes, I'm finding that when driving in France, because I've driven on the other side of the road my whole life. So if I did that all the time, I'd be in a lot of danger out here by being on the wrong side of the road.
And that's why I will never drive abroad, because 2 head-ons is close enough for me.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, is there anything else you want to add, Cliff, before we well, I won't say draw this subject to a close because we're going to go on and on with this, but what else do we want to talk about?
Well, I mean, let's look at in the future how powerful words are, or predicates, and also decisions. There's decisions that we make. People don't realise they make a decision, and then okay, that's that. But I know from my own experiences making decisions, they don't need to last as long.
No.
And decisions be out of date, as you know, and as I know.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, this has been again another brilliant. The thing is, I'm doing these and I'm hoping everyone who's watching it is enjoying it as much as I am.
Yes.
So, thank you once again, Cliff, and for joining across the English channel here and carrying on with this. I will say au revoir, bonne journée, until we meet again, and we'll do the next session once I return back. So take care, Cliff. Thank you so much for doing this, and we'll speak soon. And I'm going to put that diagram up at the end of this session. So if you want to see that, then just go in. And if you want me to send that, if long as Cliff, you're okay with this, if anyone wants me to send them that, I can do that. Just send me your email.
Okay, mate. You take care.
Brilliant. Take care. Speak to everyone soon. See you then. Bye.